Hello, this is Josh with Brightside Bounty. Let's talk about what it's going to take to get your compost pile supercharged. In order to get the nitrogen that your compost pile needs, you're going to need some good grass clippings and maybe some urine. You've got uric acid and urea that is instantly available. So in order to get this compost started, this nitrogen is the most important part. Nitrogen is the food that is going to feed the actinobacteria that will break down the most dense cellulose materials like the small sticks and the grass itself. This nitrogen on the grass clippings have a high surface area for these little critters to feed on. So they take that nitrogen and they use it to break this material down at a high rate, at a very high temperature. You want your compost pile to be very high.
Last joint this morning. Hold them up.
And also aerated. That's another thing. You can't do this without stirring your pile. So remember that. So we have the grass clippings and the urine. Now I let my urine sit in a 5-gallon bucket and let the rain go in it. So it's a mix of urine and water. And that works for me. It supercharges my compost pile. That is the fuel that you will need for your compost pile. The second thing you're going to need, microbial inoculants. This is so important. If you want that 21-day compost, this is almost necessary for that, to have a scoop or two of older compost, if you can get that, or stuff from the woods. If you have old growth forests that you can go to, or just out in the woods, so to speak, if you can dig up something that has some fungi and bacteria and little critters in it that will do the chewing and the digesting that you're going to need for this compost pile to get done in a month or less. That is the microbial inoculant. We need the metabolic catalyst, and that comes from these two things here. Now there's other sources, obviously. These are just two common sources that I thought that you would enjoy: the Alaska fish fertilizer and the clean kelp. Now, clean kelp provides the auxins and cytokinins that I need. Those are hormones, that growth initiator, that, hey, let's grow now, let's split cells and make awesome huge plants. That is what this has, along with, I believe, I wrote it down to make sure, it contains over 60 trace minerals. This is amazing because you want them all. I mean, this is like seawater and things like this, which that's where this stuff is grown. So that's probably why it has all those things in it. Now, that is the metabolic catalyst, and these are wonderful. This has fats in it that those microbes need, and always shake this up, get the highest fat content stuff you get. I don't know if this is the best or the worst of what you can get. I have not tested fish emulsions against each other in efficacy, but this one does work for me. I've used it for, I guess, about 20 years or so. Oh, and amino acids and proteins. I wrote that down. Amino acids and proteins. These things are amazing. These products are amazing. The stuff in them, not just the product. I'm not sponsored, like I said. Just the stuff in them is good stuff for your compost pile. Now, soft rock phosphate and paramagnetic rock. These are two examples: Minerals Plus and Planters. Oh, by the way, the description below will be valuable information if you're looking for the data on all this. I'm going to link everything I can possibly find about the measurements that you'll need of each of these things. I will have that laid out there in the description. And then I will also have hopefully links to some of this stuff, and then some further information if I can find it for you, because that's what I'm here for. I've got lots of information for you. These things are your mineral battery. So that's what's important about these. These are your mineral batteries. They increase the cation exchange capacity, the CEC. Included this bit of normal fertilizer here, this organic fertilizer, because when you put down dry organic fertilizer that is a basis of, like feather meal and things of that nature, that is not really immediately available. Very little of it is going to be, immediately available like a liquid salt-based nutrient is. So the point I'm making here is this can be used. You can put a lot of it into your compost pile if it's a big pile, and that will become available as soon as those plants, as soon as the 4 or 5 weeks is over. Most of this stuff is going to be broken down and available to the plant, and still more of a slow release base. It's not going to be a salt-based osmotic pressure based feeding style. It's not going to force its way into the plant via salt, osmotic pressure rather. It will just be a natural available cleated nutrient that's not just a piece of a chicken feather or something like that. It will actually be broken down and the nutrients be made available. So if you didn't know about eggshells and the fact that that is calcium carbonate and that is not available to plants. So when you put eggshells into your compost, that gives them the time, and the little critters are able to break those eggshells down. If you look at these eggshells here that I put into my compost will sit like this for weeks and months if they're not deep inside of the compost. They're just not going to break down. They're calcium carbonate, and that is not available to the plant. Even if you grind it up in a grinder, it's still calcium carbonate. You would have to soak it in vinegar, which is kind of a pain in the butt, and it's very acidic. So if you apply that to your plant, you're going to jack up the acidity in the area around the rhizosphere, and that's, in my opinion, that's just not a great way to apply calcium. The best way is to just let the calcium carbonate be broken down and be made available. Eggs are wonderful. Throw them in the compost so that they, also, always throw in your egg cartons if they're compostable. So these are the things that you need to nitrocharge, to supercharge your compost pile to get it done within 21 to 30 days.